I talked to Dana White.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a different announcement finally.
No, I spoke to Dana White. And he said that they're announcing that in April, Conor McGregor will be fighting an iPhone. I know.
Okay, Jay.
Boo.
That's a real Leno monologue joke.
I know. It's a real late night TV.
I like it.
It's cutesy.
Yeah, they found Conor McGregor's next opponent. It's
an iPhone.
It's an iPhone. Ooh. Yeah, Conor McGregor partying in Miami Beach. I would imagine partying. He's walking around at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's not really... and you're in Miami Beach. What else are you doing? It's
funny. It's shit like this it's a stupid moment.
Yeah.
That you don't see that could completely derail you because they're charging him. It was he's just being a dick when a fan is trying to take a picture. Maybe he's with his wife or something.
So it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, they said, I think. And he walked out of a hotel. Some fan was taking photos with his phone. Who knows if the fan was saying shit to him? Who knows how many photos he was taking, what the context was? But Conor McGregor ended up slapping the phone out of his hand and then stomping on the phone. And then the article that I read said he picked it up and took it with him. So they got him on robbery because he took the phone with him. They got him on...
strong-arm robbery.
Strong-arm robbery, destruction of property. Like, they started listing the charges because the guy immediately went and pressed charges on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it was and that's a felony. I think he's been charged with a felony.
Yeah, it is a felony.
And it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I don't think he's a citizen. I mean, I think he's just travels back and forth to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. I mean, Conor McGregor does not want to get banned from fighting in the United States for 2 years or whatever the fuck they could do to you if there's a criminal
especially
problem.
At this point in his life. Because how old is he now? 30?
30.
Is he 30?
I think so, yeah. He's a young guy. But he lost his last fight to Khabib, and he doesn't have another fight set up. They keep trying to put him with Cowboy Cerrone, and that just didn't get done.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah.
He's got the money, but it's like you don't want to blow fight opportunities over some stupid shit like that.
That's costing you a lot of money, a lot more than the $12,000 that you had to post for bail bond.
I mean, it's just so silly.
He was able to post it a lot quicker than R. Kelly posted his bail, which is good.
But his was a lot less.
It was. I also think that he was maybe working from a little bit more.
You think he had a little more capital to dip into?
I do. I think that he had more liquid income available.
What a foolish thing to do. You're probably coming home late, drunk from a club with your friend or your wife. You don't want your picture taken. Find a fucking better way to handle that. We've all wanted to slap someone's phone because they're talking. I was on a plane, I guess now it's about a month ago, and there was a guy, we were delayed, and he was sitting there, and he's fucking yapping. And I mean yapping. And we were taxiing, and they were allowing him to talk while I couldn't believe the leniency.
I mean, how about when we were in Tampa? You don't think that old man that was sitting at the table just a couple yards away from us when I was FaceTiming with my kid and my wife in the middle of the restaurant, you don't think that old man wanted to come over and slap that shit right out of my hand? He was complaining about it loudly with his wife. You know he wanted to come over, and I'm sure...
I wanted to slap it out of your hand, and I was right next to you.
I'm sure that he doesn't have to lose what Conor has to lose.
Yeah, and it was just a completely... Dana must be going, what the fuck?
Yeah, because
it's a felony.
Yeah, and every article about it, they're talking about Conor and bringing up the thing he did in Brooklyn where he threw the forklift into the bus or whatever he did.
It's 2 instances of like violent behavior towards someone who's not in the. It's a really stupid thing.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to put out this image of the UFC as a legitimate sport and not something that's dangerous
not
or
barbaric,
savage or whatever. Yeah.
Don't you think he tries to do this for his image?
I don't think he's doing that. At 5 o'clock in the morning, walking around Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's anger.
Smashing phones. I don't think that you're being strategic.
And if it was an image thing, like he thinks he's untouchable, it's just stupid. Then all of a sudden you get charged with a felony. It's like, come on. Do I think anything major will happen? No. I think the guy will probably drop the charges and say it was a misunderstanding because they'll pay him. But it's still a stupid fucking thing. Because what if you did that and you hurt the guy?
Right.
What if you got mad and you kicked the guy and he falls over and he breaks his arm? Now you have an assault. Like, they will boot you.
And especially a guy who's... I mean, if a guy's pressing charges on you for knocking a phone out of his hand, you don't think the guy, if he had any option, all Conor McGregor has to do is poke somebody and they're going to fall down and try to break their leg and blame Conor. He's the most famous fighter in the world.
I'm hoping to bump into him.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a soccer-like pratfall. If he shakes my hand, I'm going to claim injury.
Yeah. And I don't think this helps his image anyway. I mean, I don't, at this point, he's doing whiskey commercials. I mean, he's in all kinds of businesses.
Yeah, but people are talking about him.
He doesn't need it. People are talking about him regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, every time your name comes up, people are talking about you.
Well, the problem is that he's on, I guess he's traveling here to work, but, I think they could kick him out. They could ban him from working here. If his visa's pulled, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, now you're talking about government stuff. There's nothing
a lot you can do. Yeah. Connections will help. I mean, but because he's such a famous guy. But, I mean, this is a bad example. But fucking Boy George at one point couldn't come here to perform because he had something happen over in London, I think with heroin. Like, if you get busted with certain things, doesn't matter who you are, they'll cut the visa and you just can't work here.
At the same time, though, he's lucky that UFC is an international sport.
Sure.
He doesn't need to work in the U.S.
He does. Well,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but he could fight
He could, but the money in Vegas is better than the money anywhere. There was talks about him fighting in Russia, fighting Khabib in Russia, but that's not going to happen.
UFC
Ireland, the time for some reason Ireland wouldn't work. I think it's the time difference. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe he could fight in England. It's just not as big there as it would be here.
No, it's not. I mean, if he couldn't come into the country, UFC would absolutely just figure out international shows so they could get their money out of him. But you're right. It wouldn't. You'd be missing out on money.
It's Vegas, and your press is in Vegas. I mean, yeah, you could do it remotely, and I don't know why he's not fighting in Ireland. If it's the time difference that makes it so difficult, or is there? Oh, it might be curfews in Ireland. There is a reason that he's not doing it.
And let's be honest. What's the point of being rich if you can't get into America? That's the whole point.
Yeah,
you get all this money, and you can't come into America. It's the best place to spend your money.
Yeah.
Who wants to be rich and not spend their money in America?
Although London's pretty good too.
I mean, it's good, but it's one city. America's got tons of Londons.
That's true.
We got cities all over the place. You could just drive there, fly, whatever you want to do.
Miami's in the States.
Actually, that's a great point, Jim. Miami is in the United States, and that's just one of the many cities that we have.
The Big Apple? Lest we forget.
Is that Chicago?
No, it's New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not good with the nicknames, but yeah. But Chicago is also in the United States, or no?
It sure is.
Okay.
The windiest of cities.
That's right. That's the local, little local slang.
Welcome to the windiest of cities.
Yeah, I know. We're a national show, so it's important that we relate to.
Yeah, the local people.
To even the windiest of cities.
Well, how about Rain City out in Seattle?
Yeah, you got to. Connor may not be able to go to Rain City anymore.
Guntown, Texas.
The whole state?
Guntown, yeah.
I see. They just named the state.
Cool nicknames.
I mean, it's a giant state. They just name it a town?
Yep.
I see.
Sure.
I see. Guntown.
Yep.
You got to be able to go to all these spots.
I'm 1 for 30 so far this morning.
And
1 for 30.
Okay.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2?
2 for 30.
Is that your Conor McGregor's going to fight an iPhone? Is that counting one of them?
1 for 30.
Yeah.
I'm 1 for 30.
Yeah, I mean,
stupid move.
I think he'll be fine, but it's just Dana White needs this like he needs a bullet in his brain. He doesn't need this,
dude. And plus, he did get a sweetheart plea deal.
For the other
$50,000 fine and 6-month suspension, which was nothing. I mean, which is for him is easy.
Of course it is. He does that standing on his head.
Yes, because 6 months anyway. You're going to take time off to heal after a fight.
Yeah, the issue too is that when he does the next stupid thing, because clearly he's going to do something else stupid, he doesn't learn anything because he keeps getting off. When you can get away with everything, why would you stop doing anything? You can just get away with it. This is going to, the next time he does something stupid, they go, wait a minute. Aren't you slapping phones out of people's hands and crushing them and getting felony charges and everything? We can't just keep being lenient.
Yeah, because this is not another fighter. This is a fan.
It's just a guy.
And now Dana's going to probably be very harsh.
Yeah, but
unless there's more to it, like unless the guy was being a real dick and not saying, like unless there's something that we just don't know.
Dana will probably be harsh in the moment and like get very upset, but he'll probably not levy huge punishments against Conor because Conor's the one guy in the entire industry of mixed martial arts that really controls his own destiny. Like nobody is making money the way he's making money. He's the guy that if Dana White wants to put on a pay-per-view that's going to appeal to mainstream, not just MMA fans, Conor's the guy that you put on the poster. And there's nobody else even remotely near his level.
No.
Not even remotely. You had like Ronda Rousey You could maybe make that argument
Sure.
that when she was still winning fights.
Jones is a very big draw too, but he's not as big as Conor, I'm sure. But I mean, Jones is also a big draw.
And he could be, if he starts winning fights without steroids, he could end up being a huge deal. But that steroid thing is hard to erase.
Yeah.
Especially when there's, what was it, 3 suspensions, 2 suspensions, whatever it was?
I think so, yeah, 3.
And people don't know.
3.
Yeah. People don't know. People aren't doing the research and going through the intricacies of what really happened. They're just like, oh, that's the steroid guy.
So they say when I walk in.
Why do they say that?
I don't know. It's nothing funny to say. I'm going to throw that in.
Let's go to Jason in Carolina. What's up, Jason?
Hey, good morning, guys. I have a
Morning.
question. What contract did McGregor sign with UFC? Didn't he get some massive, $100 million deal?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yes.
he did because, he stopped fighting for a while because he was campaigning to get ownership stake, right?
Yeah, or a piece of
So
the company.
Is that guaranteed, or can they get him on breach of contract because he keeps getting in trouble?
I don't know. I mean, plus this hasn't been played out yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not gonna get him on breach anyway. I mean, he's still Conor McGregor, and he's still 30 years old.
And they want him under contract.
Oh yeah, they don't want to give him. They don't want him out.
Yeah.
Because again, if Conor McGregor wanted to make a lot of money, the money he makes now is incredible. He'll never make more than that Mayweather fight, but he literally could go to WWE
Make millions.
and be the biggest thing in that company.
For one choreographed fight, he can make millions of dollars.
Do you think so?
Easy.
Would they hire him?
Oh my God.
Shouldn't that be the move, though? Like, what
In a
happens if he
heartbeat.
loses another fight or another 2 fights? Then
His draw is not necessarily winning is great, but it's also the fact that he is such an entertaining shit talker.
Yeah.
and he always feels like he can beat you. There's always something about him where you're like, yeah, he could knock you out because he has one of the hardest punches in the division. So, I mean, if not the hardest left in the division. So I do think that people are like, fuck it, I still want to see him fight. I'd still watch him fight after 2 more losses. I'd still be in.
Yeah, when you're commanding 8 figures per MMA fight, I think you stick with MMA for a while. And then eventually, because you can lose. When he loses it in MMA and he starts losing fights in 2, 3, 4, however many fights in a row, and you realize the magic's gone, you could still bring him over to WWE and have people get in a frenzy. I mean, that's what happened with Ronda.
Yeah.
She was done in MMA, but she shows up in WWE. She's kicking people's asses. She's talking shit. It's interesting.
Well, she was done mentally because she still could have fought in MMA, but she wouldn't do press conferences. She wouldn't do interviews about it.
Yeah.
Mentally, I think she was kind of just finished with it. But if she wanted to fight, she could have. And everybody wants to fight him. Because there's so much money. He's such a draw. Everybody wants to fucking fight him.
Except that guy's iPhone.
No, exactly. John Jones would lose 50 pounds to fight him if he could. What, Travis? I'm sorry.
It's a 6-fight contract. The
Okay.
first fight was Khabib.
Khabib, yes, so he's got
So
5
still got 5 more.
Yeah.
But from what I read, unless his deal is different, no UFC contracts are guaranteed money or guaranteed security. Like they can, release.
They
the
can kill
contract
those
at any time.
contracts.
They have to offer you fights every year, though, I think. I think they have to offer you fights.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But
And
it's
I'm sure
just-
he's turning down fights.
Yeah, it's basically just you can't go anywhere else and fight. We've
Right.
got you for 6.
Oh, okay.
Right, just to make sure you're not going to go and do something with Bellator or whatever, any of these other spots.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that. He would make Bellator a lot bigger if he went there, but I don't see him doing that.
No,
It would
he's not gonna go
WWE
down.
is probably a lateral
Yeah, I think
move,
so.
company size wise.
I think so. Yeah, go and do something in a stadium. Yeah, I
Right.
think that's what, and that's. But I think that's an eventuality. I don't think that's happening soon.
What do you think? Because I'll tell you one thing. I mean, WWE, as far as the event, do you think he could do a giant stadium in Dubai?
Absolutely, but I think it wouldn't even be in. Yes, absolutely, but I think they'd get him ready for WrestleMania. They'd do it in a stadium here.
No, but they couldn't get him in here.
Oh, you mean if they? Yeah, If he got charged with this felony and they couldn't get him in the States,
Right.
yeah.
And then he got released someday.
Yeah, absolutely. They do it. They do a stadium in the UK. I mean, WWE is probably. I don't know if it's more global than the UFC, but it's certainly as global as the UFC. It might be more global than
Yeah,
the UFC.
it's been there longer. I
Yeah.
mean, wrestling's been there for fucking 40 years.
Yeah, it's a huge
There's
global
generations of
company.
people who've loved these, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they would have any problem filling up a stadium anywhere. They go to Australia and fill up a stadium with Conor McGregor. Are there stadiums in Ireland? They'd fill up a. Can you
Yeah, but
imagine?
There's a reason they're not doing it in Ireland. I don't know exactly technically what. Can you look at why is UFC not? I don't know
I
exactly.
mean,
why
fuck
they're
it.
not.
WWE, they've got their own network. If you got to do it at noon in Ireland, they just do a stadium at noon. As long as they can fill up a stadium with
Right.
Conor McGregor, they do it. So,
I don't know why they're not fighting.
but I think I think that he'll get his way out of it. Conor McGregor's got enough money that he can get out of this. Whether he's got to pay the guy off to not press charges, or he's just got to. I think he'll get out of this one. I just think it's a dumb look.
It's stupid. Yeah,
it's really stupid. I don't understand people who achieve that level of success, have that kind of money, really have that much to lose. No matter, I'm sure he walks around thinking like he's got nothing to lose. He's got everything to lose, and they still do this dumb shit.
Yep.
I mean, I think if I had that kind of money for something, I'd try to just stay home as much as possible, just not do anything.
Yeah, protect the moolah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's business talk.
Yeah,
I don't want to go over people's heads. Sound like a college kid.
Yeah, yeah.